Okay, now we're going to sew our seam sample once we've got it cut out. To start off, I'm going to review about putting your bobbin in the sewing machine and threading your machine. You're going to pop your bobbin case up with this little black switch. Use your fingernail, it's going to pop out. And then you are going to put your bobbin in. And I did say clockwise the other day, it's really counterclockwise, and you're going to put it in this small crack and then pull it to the side. You're going to leave it open, and then you are going to take your thread and you are going to put it on your spool holder up on top. You're going to take your spool cover and put it on. Then you're going to follow the numbers again, starting with number 1, going down past your tension to number 2 and back up. And if you can't see your thread take up, you just turn your hand wheel towards yourself, bring your thread up by the thread take up, snap it into the hole, go down to number 4, and then remember there's a little hook in the back of the machine, and you're going to put your thread in that hook, which is called a thread guide, and then you're going to thread. Remember, you need to have a smooth cut, and you're going to thread from front to back. Then the next thing you want to do is get this thread from the bobbin up through the metal plate in that little hole. So you're going to take your left hand, put it on your top thread, turn your hand wheel towards yourself so that the thread take up goes down and back up once. And as you turn it, you're going to watch the below. There's going to be a thread coming, and it's going to loop the bottom thread, and you pull and bring it up at the same time. There's my bottom thread. I'm going to take it and put it through the presser foot center crack, bring them in the back, and then I'm going to take my plate and snap it back on. Once you have that done, you're ready to sew. So we're going to take our pattern piece off, removing all your pins. And when you sew a seam, the most important thing for you to remember is there is a good side and a bad side, the outside, inside, and you always want to have right sides together. And if you have a problem remembering that, you can call it the pretty sides. So pretty sides together of your fabric, and you're going to match your notch. So your first pin will be where that notch is. That's how you know they belong together. You're going to pin with your knobs on the outside, and if you're left-handed, you'll pin them on the inside. You want to pin them perpendicular to the edge. Notice they're going this direction, not up and down. That prevents your fabric from sliding around. I'm doing my center by the notch and the two ends first, and then you might want to put in one more pin in between. Then, if you remember, we sew our seam at 5/8 of an inch, so you need to find your guide on the sewing machine. The 5/8 line is the second one. It says 5/8, and you're going to line up your fabric. And remember, you want to be a 1/2 inch in because you're going to start with a back stitch. You want to make sure your settings are set up at the top at number 2. You're going to straight stitch at A, and you're going to leave the length at 2. Then you're ready to sew. So I'm going to put my needle in the fabric. I'm going to put my presser foot down, and while I'm sewing, I'm going to press the reverse. Remember, you have to keep it pressed down while you're sewing, and then you're going to sew backwards to the edge of your fabric, nice and slow. And when you get to the edge, you're going to lift up your hand and go forward again. As you go, you're going to remove your pins. Remember to just watch your fabric on that line at 5/8 of an inch. As you go, take out those pins. You're going to go all the way down Nice and easy. When you get to the end again, you're going to hit that reverse, press it all the way down, and go backwards a ½ inch. When you're finished, you want to stop and start, always with your thread take up. So if it's down when you stop, you move it with your hand, bring your thread take up. If you do not do that, your thread will always come out of the needle when you start and stop. There's a cutter on the back of your post, which I very rarely use. I like to cut my threads with the scissors right away, cut them nice and short. The next step that we have, we're going to go to the iron and press this open. So, you're going to fold open your two pieces of fabric, and you're going to take a paper towel. You can use a nice dish rag or paper towels like we have at school, and you're going to press your seam open. The reason you have paper towel here is if there's volume to your fabric, you want to make sure that it doesn't leave a mark on the other side, and this paper is preventing from that mark. We always press our seams open unless it's a curve. So when you make your pants, you will not press open the crotch because it is a curved area. Once you have that completed, you want to make the rest of your fabric nice and even and smooth, and then we're going to go back to the sewing machine to zigzag our edges.